workshop. A while ago, I made a cut on my MFT3 table with a 6-degree bevel. And what that meant was I've actually trimmed off the edge of the tear-out rail or tear-out strip. And that, of course, doesn't work properly with straight cuts anymore. So I'm going to take off the old strip and replace it with a new one that came with the MFT3 accessory kit. All right, here goes. Okay, so the first thing to do is to take off the rail so as we can get to the whole length of it. So I've got my Allen key here. I'm just going to unscrew these fellas. Now I don't have to unscrew them all the way, I just have to loosen them off. So there's one this side here, and then if I drop the rail down, there's one underneath at the end. Let me grab this little fella slowly and we'll go around like that. And you can see the other one under here, which is obviously going to be very dark for you guys, but anyway, you'll get the idea. I'll just bring that fella back up. There we go. All right, so now we should and can just slip that right off. So I'm going to pop that down on the table now and peel the old one off. Now I'm tempted to save this and just ride on at 6 degrees. So if I ever have to do a 6-degree bevel again, I don't have to ruin the one I've got. We'll see how I can go with that in a minute. All right, so let's spin him around. He's not recording anything at the moment. Here we go. There's the new length there. I was hoping there would be 2 in that packet. There's not. There's only the one. That's a disappointment. They certainly get their money out of you, old Festool. Especially here in Australia. When you buy things in the US or the UK, you get them in kits with lots of accessories. Here, everything costs you. Anyway, that's enough whinging. So now I'm going to give the edge a clean with some methylated spirits, or metho as we call it here in Australia, just to get rid of the glue from the previous strip and any dirt that's of course stuck into that glue or accumulated anywhere else on the rail. And that'll give us a nice clean smooth surface to stick the next one to. Expect to take some time cleaning this off. It's not going to happen instantly, as I'm finding out now. This was supposed to be a super short video. Anyway, there you go. Alrighty. Alright, lid back on my metho. Nice and safe. Just going to give my hands a wipe as well. I don't want to get fingerprints or dust on the new strip. Okay. Obviously it goes that way and runs along as such. Alright, so you're going to peel the backing off from one end only, and I'm going to stick it down as we run along. We'll play the game. Okay, so I'm going to start a little bit past because the very tip of this wasn't sticky. So I'm going to start a little bit past the end and then cut that off when we're done. And now I'm just very carefully, hopefully you can see this. Let me turn this fella around. Very carefully peeling a little bit of the tape off at a time and making sure it's hard up against this edge. Now I'm sure it's not the end of the world if you're out a little bit. Okay. As I was saying before the GoPro turned off for some reason, I'm sure it's not the end of the world if you do deviate slightly. However, may as well get it accurate and get it in there first time. If you do go over a little bit away from this little ridge that I'm running it along, you'll just cut it all straight when we trim it anyway at the end here. Go. This is very, very easy. Don't really need someone to make a video on it for you. But I've done it anyway. All right. And there we are. So now I'm just going to trim the ends with a sharp knife and then trim it that way with the saw. Bear with me. All right, just got a cheap disposable utility knife. Ooh, very cheap and rubbishy. Anyway, also very sharp, so it'll do the trick. And at this end, I'm going to try and use the aluminium as a guide, and I'm going to try and chamfer it ever so slightly so it doesn't stick past the end of the rail. Beautiful. And actually, that's a little bit sharp there now, so I'm just going to, there we go. Excellent. Okay, now we slide the rail back into place, like so. Make sure it's lined up with this fella. At this end, there we go. That's it. And then just tighten those two screws from before. One underneath. Flip it up. There we go. That's pretty much done. There's one more thing left to do. Here we go. I've got this floorboarding coming out of my ears. Let's try a piece of this. Let's try a shorter piece of this. All right, just need a piece of wood to support the rail in the middle. Adjust the height so it's correct. Okay, lovely. All right, so now we're going to finish off with a plunge cut. Here we go. There we are. We've now trimmed the plastic flush with the cut. So now it'll work as a tear out guide like it's meant to, but also more importantly for me, an alignment guide. That's what I use it for more than anything else. Helps me align my cut. So beautiful. There we are. All done. So there you are. How to replace the breakout guard on an MFT3 table.